So then Gannon decides that he doesn't want to go to school because of his tummy issues, or because he's going to help you with the carpet. What is?
It was kind of a combination of both.
Okay, and who excused him from school?
But I had texted Albert and said, could he not go to school for his stomach?
Okay.
Because he was hurting with his stomach, but also the whole plan was that we were going to figure it out.
Like, so who actually contacted the school to excuse him?
It wasn't me. I didn't. I don't know.
Okay.
Did someone contact? Because I didn't.
I would assume that somebody would contact the school, or you probably would get like a phone call. I know with my kid's school, if they're not there by 8:15, the office.
Then they would call Albert, not me, because he would have the like the automated system where he's like, your child's missing. I mean, your child is missing from school today, whatever.
Okay. Yeah. So that's Sunday, and you're saying a lot of we and that kind of thing. So you mentioned earlier that Harley had gone to work.
Mm-hmm.
She got called into Massage Envy.
Mm-hmm.
So who went on the hike?
So it was originally going to be all of us. Harley, me, Gannon, and Lena. And then Harley got called in. She switched shifts with someone, but then that person, like, I guess the policy is if that person agrees to take your shift but then don't come, you still have to come or something. I don't know. But, so she just was like, I have to go. She's only going to be working there like a few more weeks or whatever. So I told her, I was like, don't burn any bridges. I know it sounds crazy that you have to do that, but you got to go in. So she went into work on Sunday.
Okay. So it ended up being you, Gannon, and Lena that went hiking.
Right.
Okay. And so then let's go through Monday.
Okay, can you give me 1 minute?
Yep.
Alright, so we wake up on Monday. Normal. How we wake up. You know, like everybody gets up, whatever. Shannon stays in bed. He already knows that we are, going out and about today. That was the plan. I walk Lena out to make, because usually Gannon walks her outside. So I walk Lena out to the front door and around to make sure I seen her around the corner to get to the bus stop, and she did.
Okay.
I come back inside. I don't remember if I laid down a little bit. I probably played on my phone for a little bit, wasted a little bit, because she goes outside at like 6:50, 6:55, still early, take the dogs out, things like that. Well, I go down, start talking to Gannon about, hey, like, this is the plan, like, go downstairs, the basement, whatever. I say basement, but as in, like, his room is downstairs, it's a furnished basement. And I realized that Gannon, he actually had, like, marks, like, on his arm, and they were actually, like, peeling at that point. And I swear, I did not realize that they had, I don't know if, like, they start, like, because burns are sitting there, I don't know if they started, like, peeling, like, overnight, or, like, whatever, and he has, like, really bad anxieties. So whenever things are peely, or, like, things like that, he bites his own nails a lot anyway, like, anything that's, like, loose and things like that, he bites them. So I don't know if, like, as burns, like, burned a little bit, and when I do this, I don't mean, like, I'm giving you a location. I'm just saying, like, as in burns, like, on your skin. I guess when, like, how they pull a little bit stretchy or whatever, so, like, on your arm, it kind of gets a little stretchy and peeling. Mm-hmm. So then I was, like, freaked out, because I was like, I didn't know that his arms were like that. So I'm, like, crying, because, and this is where I have to start telling you, like, I'm, like, very, like, I was scared. Because my thought process was, Albert is going to kill me. Like, because I made a mistake as a parent and forgot to, like, really check him down. And he really got a little bit more burnt than he should have. So I was freaking out because it's like, he's going to kill me. And Gannon was like, it's okay. And, like, there was blood. And, like, he had on his arms. And as it was peeling, and I should have called.
Where did he have blood at?
I should have called the hospital and just asked, I don't know enough about burns, but I should have called the hospital and just asked, like, I made a mistake. I didn't. I swear to y'all, I didn't know they were that bad. I didn't at all. So I feel horrible. So here I am. I know it's not, about me, but as a person, I was feeling horrible that I didn't call Albert to say, they're like this. So I told him, I said, okay, listen, this is what we're going to do. We're going to put some, like, aloe on your arms, you know, and things like that. And I was like, it's going to be okay. We're going to fix it. We're going to, you know. And all I kept thinking about was we're going to fix it. And I don't know in my mind how I was going to fix it as far as he wasn't in pain. He wasn't saying, like, I'm hurting or anything like that. He was more of, like, peeling it. Like, you know, like, it was like, almost like it was like a boil. Am I saying the right word? Boil? Like,
blister?
Like a blister. So I'm going to say like he was pulling a blister, you know.
Okay.
So there was blood, and then so I'm like holding him, and I had blood on me. And when I say blood, let me explain to you. I don't mean like dripping out, pouring everywhere blood. So let me not like give you that thought process, because sometimes when I say, like, if I say flames, to me I'm like, this is a big flame, you know. So there was blood. So I was just so like freaked out. So I was like, we'll just clean it up. Don't worry about it. We'll figure it out.
Where's the blood at?
So the blood was on his arms, on his like sheet that he had, which we washed the sheet. So it was on his sheet, it was on his arms, and he had some on like his arm, I guess from like sleeping or whatever. He had some on the wall. So we cleaned up everything. I put like garnish the. Am I saying that? Garnish like the wrap thing. So I just put a little bit of wrap thing, and I was like, we'll check it with the aloe and see if it gets better. Because my next thing was, I'm going to assess the situation in so many hours, and if it looks, because I did look online, and it said, like, if it turns a yellow color, that it could be infected or whatever, and I was like, that was going to be my next step. So I don't want you to think that I was, like, neglecting the fact that...
So you realize that he's got a burn, you do some treatment that you think is appropriate at the time, and then you tell yourself, you know, I'm going to do this follow-up with him. Okay.
Right.
So then what happens after you take care of Gannon and make sure he's okay?
Honestly, I'm pacing the house, and I know there's two things I got to fix, you know. And when I tell you that Albert will freak out over things, I just want you to know that. So I want you to picture in my mind of how I'm like afraid to be like, okay, I got to fix these situations, and I need to fix them fast with the carpet and things like that.
Okay.
So number one, I was like, I need to fix the carpet, and number two, I need to figure out, you know, like, assess, like I said, does Gannon need to go get like some burn cream or whatever? So I said, let's get dressed. We're gonna leave out. I think I told you guys it was like maybe 10:35 or whatever the time frame we left. So this is where I should have like made this mistake. So I drive to so Larson Ranch. At the end of Larson Ranch is a bunch of new builds, like construction, things like that. I drive to the new builds. I was going to be like, hey, look, somebody here knows how to, you know, fix it. Because if I get online and start calling people, then they'll be like, make an appointment. I figure I might find somebody that, you know, would do like a little side job and come and help us fix when I say carpet, I'm talking about fix the living room, the spot that I had cut out or whatever. So I did. I pulled up. On the back part, there were some new houses being built, and there were some like Hispanic, and I'm not saying that to be like discriminatory, they were Hispanic people that were out there, and I was like, hey, do you know where you can get the carpet that is in the Larson Ranch model home? So I told them the model home, which was the same home that we had. I mean, I don't know if it's the model home, but I gave them the name, because I asked, I looked online for the company, for the name, and I said, it's in this. He's like, everybody has that same carpet. Mm-hmm. Yes. So we got a roll of the carpet.
Where'd you get that from?
We got it from the guy on the scene. Like, I say the guy on the scene, but like the construction area. So we got the carpet from the guy in the construction area. Well, I didn't get it then. He said he was going to bring it to me. So I gave him the address, and this is where I messed up. I gave him, and this is why I couldn't tell you this in front of Albert, I gave him our code to get in, because he was going to go fix it. And I just assumed, working in the house, he was going to be okay, you know, whatever. And me and Gannon left. I just said, hey, this is...
Did you give him the garage door code?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And what about the alarm?
Well, if you go in through, say, like you're walking in through our house, there's no sensor, so we always keep it on our alarm, and you can walk in through the garage and the alarm will never set on fall. Never. Okay. And the reason for that is, like, there's no door. Like, there's nothing that tells that door that it's open. You see what I'm saying?
So you don't have a sensor there.
Right. So we just always, and the kids come in every day in the garage and never have to, like, set, you know, reset, anything like that. Okay. So me and Gannon go on. I don't remember exactly where we went first. I know we rode a little bit because I was looking for different places to buy the dogs some like different cute outfits because sometimes I get them at Ross. But Petco has some really good deals going on right now, so I was like, I'm gonna go to Petco. Gannon was like, at that point, it was like he wanted to lay down because his stomach was hurting. He wasn't complaining about like any like pain on his arms or anything like that. He just said he wanted to lay down because his stomach was hurting. So we were in Albert's truck. So we lay down. I mean, he lays down in the back of the truck. So he's just laying down, whatever. I went to Petco. I can't remember if I went in the store beside Petco. I know we went some places around town, just different locations.
What places did you go to?
I know I went to Petco. I know I went to a gas station to get gas.
Which Petco did you go to?
The one at, is it Nevada and something?
Okay.
I don't really know.
The newer
sure.
one? It's like that
it
bigger
nice.
shopping center?
It's a nice area. That's the area I basically was in for. I wasn't gone that long for most of the time frame. That was the area that I was in. And then I made the wrong, when you're coming back and it tells you go this way, I made the wrong exit. Like I got in the wrong one, so I went back. I guess that would be I went north a little bit before I turned around to come back because I made the wrong one. So I get back and let's see, did we go eat at that time? I feel like I didn't get anything to eat. Maybe I just got Starbucks. I could look at my credit card or something like that. See if you want to look and see what I spent that day. You want me to look?
No.
Okay.
Eventually, yes.
Okay.
That would be helpful.
Okay. So I remember what happened. Then I realized I had to go back to Petco. That's why we turned around and came back. Because I started off, I bought 2 outfits, maybe 1 or 2, and then I came back in Petco and I got the rest of the outfits that were on there because I was like, I'll go 2 more for this price. So I did go back to Petco twice. So I'm sure you'll see that.
How long in between did you go?
Let's see, if we left at 10-something, it's like a 30-minute drive from Lorson Ranch-ish.
Mm-hmm.
So if I got there, got gas, got Starbucks, maybe I was there at 11-ish. I don't want to say a time.
I'm saying, so you go to Petco the first time, and then how long in between the first visit and the second visit to Petco?
Can I give you that, like, looking up?
A guesstimate, or
maybe an hour?
Maybe an hour?
Maybe.
Do you have, like, any tracker apps or anything on your phone? Because I know, like, for me, I have that Life 360, and it'll tell me.
You want me to show
yeah,
you
sure.
Okay.
It'll tell me, what my short trips are. It'll even tell me if I walked somewhere. It's freaking awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, I just get tracked by Google. I have Android phone, so it just tells me.
My family likes to know where I'm at, so
I do that to Harley because Harley, was the only child, and then her father was killed, so it's always like she and I, and like she was like really all I had until I got remarried or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of like do maybe a little overboard of stalking. I'm like, where's
hey, you know what? I
do that right now. I'm like, all right, let's see.
Do you have the one with the subscription? I'm like trying to figure out if I should get that or not.
I don't. She always says something about purchasing it because she said it would tell if
like
you
the crash detection.
Right, that's what she was saying.
Yeah.
And she was saying that it was kind of like how the Apple Watch would do if you had a crash detection. It would alert authorities. They'll say, okay, this is, I don't know if this is like a service thing, but it's on. I would say, I would say hour-ish because I'm a very indecisive person when it comes to like shopping. So I had to go back and make my mind up. I can leave it right here, but it's loading. I think maybe.
Can I see it? Maybe it'll give me better reception over here.
Yeah.
Oh shoot. Do you have a password or something? I can put it in.
No, I could do my finger.
Okay. Sometimes this corner, if you hold it up high, it'll. Because I know people watching, I want them to have my passcode in, and they'll know our code for a lot of stuff. Alright, here we go. Is it working? No. Oh, that corner is like typically the sweet corner.
Hold it up here?
Yeah. We can set it down here. Just see if it kicks on.
Okay.
Okay, so you make the second trip to go back and buy more outfits.
Mm-hmm.
And then, where do you go from there? Is Gannon still telling you that he wants to like lay down? How's he doing?
Something happened. There you go. See, I told you this was a sweet corner. It says purchase could not be completed. I didn't purchase anything. It says purchase cannot be completed.
Huh.
What does that mean?
I have no idea. I've never had that pop open before. The purchase could not be completed. Please try again later. Well, I mean, we tried.
I guess
It says to access
signal, so.
Your free membership includes 2.
How long have you guys had that app?
Oh God. Since she started driving, maybe for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe a long time. Yeah.
Because I want to say, like, it's never had me do a purchase.
It just says get more history. It didn't even ask me to put anything. It just says the purchase could not be completed.
That's bizarre.
That is bizarre.
You didn't hit anything. I didn't hit anything. Okay. So you go back to Petco the second time. Does Gannon, these places that
Sorry, I was going to say, it says crash detection disabled. Does that mean I don't have the...
Yours looks different than mine does. And you don't have a subscription?
Mm-mm. Like, it gives me, but it sends me all the alerts, like, it says, like, Carly arrived home.
Well, yeah, I mean, I get those too.
Yeah.
If you have certain places set, like
No,
work
I get them
or
with
home.
Yeah, well, I get the work at home, but it'll say completed a 4-mile drive, completed a 15
Oh, okay.
See what I'm saying? Like,
I think we might have different versions because mine is
Okay.
Android. So, anyway, that's neither here nor there. So, when you and Gannon are out running around to these places and you know, getting your gas and your coffee and
Right.
Petco a couple times, and does he go into the
Okay.
stores with you?
No,
or?
but I parked, and I know you're going to see this, so I'm going to say that I parked on the front, and, like, I don't know if you'll probably, if you see the Petco cameras, I'm in the, can I show you?
Sure.
I'm in the store a lot of times walking back to the front door doing this. And my point of doing that is because I was making sure that I didn't see him, like, you know, if he needed something or, like, getting out or whatever. And he stays in the car, like, I will let him stay in the car all the time with, like, if, like, Lena's in the car, he'll be like, it's okay, stay here, sit here, buddy, we'll be right back. Didn't think anything of it because he had his Switch with him, and he was playing his Switch.
Did he know what store you were in?
Yeah, Petco.
So, like, if he needed you or
Right.
whatever else.
Right, but and I did keep walking to the door several times, and I'm pretty sure I did it on the second visit too, walking back to the door just to make sure. You know, like if he was like, oh, you know,
Sure.
like I need you or whatever.
Sure.
So yeah, you can see that on there. So do you need to know like what I did in there, or you just or
So you're just in there shopping, and then
it wasn't even a long shop. Like,
okay.
Like it wasn't.
And then you come back out, and then where do you go?
So I know we were right in that area, like different places, but I don't think I stopped anywhere else specific to get anything other than Starbucks. I made a wrong turn, and then the 2 times at Petco, and I was looking for Marshalls, but
After the second time at Petco, did you go anywhere?
I think after that Petco is when we started to head home.
Okay, so you go home.
And I want to give you like an accurate of that if I pull this up, because I feel like right after Petco we went home. I don't
Sure.
want,
If you want to try and bring it up.
Yeah, I don't want you to think that I missed a stop or something. And I will tell you, on the way there, we did stop and get gas somewhere.
Okay.
I can't remember if it was on the way there or way home.
Do you remember what station?
But we did
A
stop
Shell,
and get gas.
7-Eleven.
Here,
Come
I
and
can
go.
click on it. If you gotta go.
I hate to do this. Yeah, I need to run out. I'm gonna come back.
Okay.
Okay. It shouldn't take me very long, hopefully. But please continue talking with Detective Houston, and then whenever I get done with that, I'm gonna come back in and we'll get back on again. Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull this up too, and it's a little.
Okay. Sure. The USA app is being slow too.
Is it my phone?
I don't. You can try that corner again. It might. This floor is a little weird. So after you guys left Petco,
Mhm.
so did you buy something there that time, or?
The second time, yes.
Okay. Okay.
And I know she kept asking me about what was Gannon doing, what was he, whatever, blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to say this about getting back.
Okay.
So everyone has been, about this whole thing about camera footage and this happened because we didn't see this or didn't see this. So I'm very sorry.
What do you mean, everyone?
So, my whole family is being harassed. My mom is being threatened to be killed. My daughter is being stalked. That's why it took me a while to get here, because I had to put some safety measures in for her own well-being.
Okay.
And my family from back home is being threatened. People are saying they're sending people after them.
Okay.
All those things. So, there's always a world of people making situations and saying, let's be a good person, but then threaten someone else.
Okay.
And so, being aware of that's what was going on. So, in between all that and all these, people were sending me messages that people were saying and blah blah blah. I didn't respond to any of them. During all that, there was something along the lines of someone checked neighbors 2 doors down or something, camera footage, and never saw anyone do this or that. I don't know, specifics. But my point behind telling you that is, if this is what you guys, and I'm not saying this is what you're basing stuff on, if this is what you're basing stuff on, is in this day and age, timelines, security, things like that, you will see on somebody's security, Gannon and I run to the car at 10 something that morning and be returning at 2 something.
Okay.
So I remember specifically in the truck, I pulled it right in front of the ring. And
Your ring?
Yes, but we don't have a subscription.
Okay.
But according to these neighbors who can see all the way to the truck every day,
okay,
they should be able to show you during those time frames that we run in, we run out, he runs back in, or whatever.
Okay.
And then,
so you leave around 10 something, and then you get back around 2 something.
I feel like it was 2:35, 2:25, 2 something.
Okay.
Because I knew I had to be back in time to do a couple things, and then I knew Lane would be coming there. I knew Harley would be getting off work, yada, yada, yada. So that was my whole thing. So going on from there, Gannon goes inside, I think first. I don't want to misquote myself, but I'm pretty sure he ran in first, and I had the bags for Petco and all that stuff in my hand. Now,
Which door did you guys use?
We always go in through the garage if we, typically, if we park on the front part of the yard, things like that.
Sure.
So we go in through the garage.
Okay.
He goes in through the garage. I go in. I'm getting ready to put up the things, stuff like that. And this is where it got. I made a mistake. This is it.
Okay.
So as we got inside, I heard something. But I didn't think anything about it because I thought, maybe Gannon was doing something. Maybe we were doing whatever.
Mhm.
And the guy was in there. And I gave him the code.
The guy from the...
Yeah, it's all my fault. Because I gave him a code to fix the carpet.
Okay.
And I shouldn't have.
Okay.
And he... He was inside. I noticed when I had walked in and I saw our we have a little bookshelf thingy. I keep my shades in there too, but we also have our guns and stuff. I saw it was open, but in my mind I thought maybe I left my shades or whatever.
Your sunglasses?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I didn't think anything of it when I heard the noise, and I just started walking downstairs. But I didn't walk downstairs with a gun or anything like that. So I started walking downstairs, and when I walked downstairs, I hear something again. Well, at that point in time, Gannon was on the sofa, and I saw him, and I heard something again, and I walked on around to where so Gannon's room is here,
Okay.
and then there's a storage closet here.
Okay.
And I heard something, and so I walked to the storage closet to open the storage closet, and when I do, it's him. And he was standing in there, and he had on gloves.
In the storage closet?
Yes.
Okay.
He had one of the guns.
Okay.
And I was terrified.
Okay.
So terrified. And then he just knocked me down and towards Gannon's room. And he was hitting on me. It was hard, on the ground. And
Okay.
he was trying to rape me, and I told her. And I said, I have to tell you about it.
Okay.
And life from there on was like in a blur. Cause I was trying so hard because Gannon had a table in his room and I went back and hit my head on it. Like with him, Gannon runs inside the room and like tries to like be helpful, do something, whatever. And from there, it was kind of like a blur. Everything else that was going on, because I was just like crying and I was freaking out. And I swear to God, I don't know what happened from there. I really don't know what had happened from there. I don't.
Okay.
I don't. And I'm just like, in the moment thinking, I had like these memories of like, wow, like the thing was open, he had the gun, and I didn't remember what happened from there, and so I kind of like blacked out just a little bit, and so all these things are going through my mind as I'm blacked out. I don't know if like, I know he was like, when Gannon was like trying to get on him, I know he was like moving Gannon, and like, and it was just all like, so like a cycle to me, and so I'm like out of it for a little bit, just for a little bit, and then from when the time I woke up, I say woke up, but like I kind of blacked out a little bit, and I immediately like freaked out. I was like, I couldn't find Gannon. I was like, the guy was still in the house. Lena was on the way. I didn't know where Gannon was at because I was calling for Gannon. I thought he was hiding. Like I legit thought he was hiding in like maybe the other closet that was on the other side, the other, whatever. I thought he was hiding. Like I was so scared. So I run up the stairs because I hear that, I know it's like almost time for Lena, and I hear that the Ring app had like a alert for someone at the front door, but it could have been just like Amazon or something driving by because there was nobody at the front door. And then I run back downstairs because in my mind I was like thinking, where is Gannon? And I didn't want to leave and like run outside and scream and go crazy because I did not know where he was at the time. And everybody says to me, like, because I told Albert and him about it, and they're like, why didn't you like run to go get help? And I didn't want to leave to go get help, and I was terrified because I know Albert would kill me because Gannon was still in there. So then when I get downstairs, he has the gun and he has Gannon, and I'm sitting there like freaking out, like, okay, what do you want me to do? Blah blah blah. So Lena does make it to the door at this time, and then so I go upstairs because I know that he was like, don't say anything, because I didn't know if someone thought like it was a cop, or if someone heard something, or I didn't know anything. So my thought process was, if I say anything, Gannon's down here, I need to just be as cool as possible at like, because we order things on Amazon like all the time, books and things like that. So it was Lena. So the reason I sent Lena away was because I wanted her to be safe too. So I sent Lena on a mission to go get like the mail. Lena never gets the mail. No, nothing like that. I sent her on a mission to go get the mail.
Okay.
And so I just started making up random things for Lena to go do. And I looked at Lena and I said, she was standing there, I was like, just stay gone for a little while. Because I didn't want her coming back and then that's, like, her in a stress, in the situation as we were too. So, like, in my mind, I think if I say anything, if I do anything, I just didn't know what to do. I was in complete panic. So I go back downstairs again, and I'm, like, pleading and, like, talking and, like, all these things going on. Like, just back and forth with him, and why are you doing this? Why did you hurt us? Why are you doing these things? And then it just started being like a hustle and puzzle, like back and forth, and I don't even remember how it kept going for, like maybe I say 5 or 10 minutes, but I don't know if it was that long. And then he was like on top of me again, and then I kind of lied out again because he was hitting my head again.
Really?
And then and then I was on the table that was inside, like in between there's a red and blue table in there.
Okay.
He like forced me in there again, and he was trying to do it again, and I was just like losing my mind, like completely. Like Albert's sister was raped, and so like in my mind I kept thinking Albert's gonna be like I'm nothing, and I shouldn't have been thinking about that. I shouldn't have been, but I was. And that was all I could keep thinking about, like, was like, Albert was going to be upset, Gannon's over here, Lena's coming, all these emotions are running through there. And then he was like, he asked me to give him a suitcase, and I gave him a brown suitcase, and then he hit me on the head again, and I was like, right here. He just kept, like, hitting me right there like that.
Okay.
And so then he did that, and then I blacked out again. I was having a panic attack. And then I don't know what happened from there. I really don't. I don't know. I just know that I did lie. I did. When they came, I did say, Gannon left, whatever. You know that. But,
Okay.
but he never did. He never left to go play. I just didn't know what to do, and I panicked in the moment. I didn't want Albert to be like trying to hurt us, because we kind of get in a lot of fights.
Okay.
Yeah. And I just want you to know that's the only reason that I made up the lie, is because I knew that I didn't want to face the consequences of, trying to explain to him all that was going on, because he was saying to me, you're trying to make this about you, this is not about you, and I knew all those things because I've lived in it, and so I panicked, and I just told a story, and I was going to try to think of, like, a plan. I'm sorry that it might have delayed, like, looking for Gannon, but I do not know where Gannon was. I do not know. I do not know his whereabouts from that point on. But it was still in the same time frame that I gave you guys. So there was no contradictory to that same time frame, because it still was about 4 o'clock.
Okay, so go over the time frame with me. What was the time frame?
It had to be around like 4
Okay.
ish, because Harley gets off at 4:30.
Okay.
And so Harley had just gotten home, or no, was on her way home or something, and my phone was like alerting. I knew Harley was on her way home, and I was going to tell Harley when she got there. I was going to be like, look, this is what happened. We need to get help. We need to call 911. And all I kept thinking about was, it's going to be my fault, because I gave him the code. He brought the carpet. He did all that.
Okay.
And
Did he fix it?
No, I had already cut it.
Oh, okay.
He brought the big roll of carpet. It's at the house. He brought that.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
where's that at the house?
it's in the back storage room.
Okay. Is that the one that he was hiding in?
Huh?
Is that the storage room that he was in?
Yes.
Whenever you went down there?
Yes, I put the carpet back in the storage room. And the reason I put the carpet back in there, because it was laying so the storage room was right here. It had fallen over at some point when all this was going on. So
Okay.
I picked it up and put it back, on the thing. I rolled it up.
Oh.
It wasn't all the way rolled out, but it was like somewhat rolled out through the commotion, and I rolled it back up and put it
Okay.
on the inside.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you doing okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So the time frame is that 4 o'clock is whenever.
I don't want to tell you exactly 4. I don't like saying that because I
About
don't
4
want
o'clock
you.
was
Okay,
whenever. We can say about.
Okay.
Okay. And then what happened after that?
So
Did
Lane
Harley come home? Or?
yeah, Lane is still out and about. Harley's home, comes home or whatever. I'm pacing the house, like, trying to think of a plan of, like, what do I do? And I should have, like, immediately, like, gotten on the phone, did whatever. But all I kept thinking about was, it's all my fault. It's my fault because Albert's going to say to me, you gave some stranger access to our home. This is all on you. And in my mind, I thought I could fix it. Like, in my mind, I thought I could fix this. And I don't know why I thought that. That was a horrible decision-making process. But it also was in a very emotional state that in normal situations, people can say all they want. I will call, I would do this, I would do this. But if you're not in a situation, everybody handles things differently.
Sure.
And I was making an irrational decision in a panic situation when I should have immediately, being an educator, being all these things, it should have been one of those things where it was immediate, know how to answer. And you might think, this girl's going to want to be a flight attendant. She's got to be able to think fast. It was not that easy in the moment because my mind was in so many directions that I could fix it.
Sure.
I literally thought I was going to fix it.
Sure.
And that was where it went from there. So I was going to tell Harley. I didn't tell Harley. I paced around the situation and was thinking, okay, if I don't have any kind of like information, like if I don't have a plan in my brain by a certain time, that's when I'm going to call authorities.
Okay.
And so that's how.
So you had like predetermined a time that you were going to call if you hadn't figured anything out?
Well, I didn't come up with a specific time, but in my brain I kept saying, okay, I got to act soon. But I knew that, I'm like thinking by 6:30, like, I need to make a good decision, because
Okay.
what am I going to tell the girls? Because they're going to be like, you know, like, where's Gannon, da-da-da, like, because we were going to all go eat sushi. So that was where that time frame
Okay.
would have been like, what am I supposed to do? Go get in the car and be like, Gannon's not going with us. I couldn't keep going on and on with the irrational decision of not calling 911.
Okay.
And I had to stop the decision.
So what happened? So tell me what happened as it went on.
So I called 911.
Okay.
And they said, hey, sorry, you know, this is not an emergency. You have to call this other line.
Okay.
So I called the other line, and it was a 4-hour wait for them to get there.
Okay.
So 4 hours later, they came. I'm still in a panic set. I'm like, these people are, nothing I say is going to solve this situation. So I did say that Gannon was at this time. Again, I've admitted it's a very rational decision, because it could have been more helpful to be honest and say, this is the description, here's who we're looking for, instead of, like, the situation being like, he was gone. And that was horrible. I shouldn't have done that, because I panicked. And
Okay.
I need to make a decision.
Okay.
You know. And so from then on, that's when you guys came. They came through, asked me questions. They searched the house, every room, flashlights, you know, whatever. They went outside in the garage. They searched my car, blah, 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 blah.
Okay. And was Harley there at this time?
When they did the searches?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because it took like 4 hours, so it was like later in the night that this had happened.
Okay. So when you say they searched your car, which car did they search?
Like the car, my car, like the black car.
The black car.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like, so there was a deputy, there was like 6 or 7, and then one of those deputies that responded to the scene, he came around with a flashlight, and he like searched like everything up and down every room, would ask me questions like, would this wallet be here? Would this be here? You know, like, would this be here? Would this be here?
Sure, trying to figure out what's normal, what's not normal.
And I put everything back in order. Like,
okay.
Like, I told you I moved the carpet, you know, I fixed the situation because I was being stupid. And I should have told them what had really happened.
Okay.
And so he went through everything. He went through the outside. He went through the car. He went through the trunk. He went through everything.
Like he actually got into the car?
He wanted my ID.
Okay.
And he asked me, he said, do you mind if I look around? He
Sure.
looked in the garage. He opened my car. In fact, he left my car to open because the next morning the back door was open.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he went in the car doors. I mean, I'm sure you guys have a record of who was in there. But he opened the car, opened up the trunk. He looked through the bags that were in the trunk.
Mm-hmm.
He looked through everything in the garage, looked the bags, whatever were here, came back in. He did the same thing, and, you know, like, in different parts.
So he's trying to be, like, really thorough.
Yeah, like, trying to be really, really thorough. He was going through every part of the house.
Okay.
And he asked me, was anything missing? And it was the truth. There was nothing missing, because I did take the gun that he had. I did put the gun back.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Okay. So, was there anything else that happened on Monday? Like, did you talk to Harley about it, or Lena?
About what I told you?
Mhm.
No, I told them the first situation.
Like what you told our dispatcher.
Right.
That and that was that Gannon went to go play at a friend's house.
Right.
And do you remember the friend's house name? Or?
I never gave anyone a name or anything at all.
Okay.
And also too, like, I didn't want to leave out any key points or whatever.
Sure.
I had my headphones on because when I was like upstairs when it all started, I had my headphones on, so my headphones were still on through the whole scene. So that's why if you ask me like did you hear any noises? Did you hear anyone leaving? Did you hear the alarm go back off? I had my headphones still on. They were still on my head.
When you came inside the house?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, like I had my headphones still on when I came inside the house. Like not coming in the house with them, but like in the house. When I went downstairs, I still had my headphones on.
Okay.
Yeah, like I did like this.
Sorry. Okay, so help me understand.
Yeah.
So when you came into the house, you didn't have them on, but then you had them on when you went downstairs?
Yeah, because I came in doing like a normal, I would get ready to listen to music, I was going to work out thing.
Oh, okay.
So I like, you like move them back and forth.
What kind do you have?
Like I have Beats audio.
Like the ones that go over, or
yeah.
like they come in?
Yeah, the ones that like,
okay.
go, like they kind of like smash your head in or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
The
I
big,
always have to.
like,
Yeah, I always have
muffins
to
on
like.
your head?
I always have to like move them, you know, like back and forth and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's what I was doing, like moving them when I was like, do I hear something? You know,
Okay.
because it's kind of like I heard something, but I wasn't sure that I heard something at all. And that's when I started going downstairs.
Okay. And are they like noise canceling or anything like that, or ambient sound, or do they just do like play regular music?
I mean, I think they would be noise canceling, right? Because that would be.
I don't know. I think you can get them either way.
That would be beats. I'm not sure.
I think you can get them either way.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if you knew.
Yeah, I don't know. We have two different pairs, and the one like we have two different, and I know one of them is like the push, you know, like push in kind or whatever, and the other one doesn't push in as much, and I have the ones that like push in a little bit. So
Okay.
that
So
might
you
be,
have two different pairs.
no Albert. I'm saying like we have two
As a family.
Yeah.
Okay. So which ones were you wearing?
Mine.
Okay. Which color are those?
I feel like they're like a rose gold or maybe like a matte gold or.
Okay. And what color are Albert's?
Red, I think.
Okay.
I think.
Okay. We just want to make sure
Yeah.
that, you know, like if we see them or whatever again, then we know which ones are yours
Yeah,
and which ones are his. So that it's like, you know, if you said that that your head got hit and stuff like that, and we'll go back to that
Right.
a little bit, but maybe if he like touched them or something like that, then we want to make sure that we get the right ones. Right.
Right.
Okay. So was there anything else that happened Monday, like after the deputies left or anything like that?
No, so I went out to my car that morning because I knew that Albert was going to fly in or whatever, and so normal, like routine, you know, like I got up, whatever. I got in my car and I realized that the guy had left the back door open, and then so I was like, oh, my car might not crank. And I, you know, drive out, and I drive down the street because I was going to drive my car, blah, 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 to pick it up. And I decided to come back because it was too early. His flight wasn't coming in until 8:53.
Okay.
And I was going to, like, honestly just drive. I had to think in my brain, you know, I was like, this is the best thing. But I didn't. I just drove down the street and came back.
And that was in your black car?
Mhm.
Okay. And then you ended up picking him up later?
Yeah.
And you took your black car to do that?
No, yes. So what happened is I took my black car, but I sent him a message earlier, and I said, hey, is it okay if we get a rental car?
Okay.
And he said, yes. I have a leased vehicle, so you can only put like 1,000 miles on it, and I'm like pretty anal about, you know, like I don't want to go over and that type of thing.
Okay.
So his car is very expensive on gas, so I was going to get I did get a little economy car, and I knew we'd be driving around everywhere, because everybody was like searching, and in my mind I was like freaking out because I'm going to be blamed because I gave someone our codes and our home, and so I was like, I know we're going to drive everywhere all day, so I was like, I'm going to get a rental car.
Okay.
So I did, and so I got my rental car, and I left my black car at the airport.
You left it at the airport?
Right, because
Okay.
I had to have a way to, like, I didn't walk, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Albert asked me where my car was at, and I told him it was at French. The reason I told him that is because Albert and I get in a lot of fusses about this whole working and changing career thing that you guys, I told you about in the beginning, and that was like a personal situation that I didn't want to fuss with him about, you know, like the working and changing, you're going to give up your career for this, and this. So I just said, he knew I had just worked at French, so he knew that. So I said, it was at French, one of my friends brought me. That's what I told him.
Okay.
So that's why he thought it was at French, but it was my way of, so he thought that he knew I had to go get my stuff from French because I stopped working there. So, and that's kind of, I wanted it to go with the story because I wasn't ready yet to tell him I wasn't returning at all to education. It just wasn't.
Okay, so he doesn't know that yet.
Well, he knows that, like, I'm going to be a flight attendant, and oh, never mind, I can't do it because I've been back and forth. You're going to go from making I make like $60,000 to, I think they make like $18 to $20 an hour, but you can only do so many things, like reserve shifts, you got my crash pads. So I'm back and forth on something I really want to do and the money. So I went back and forth with him on that, and that was just one of those things where I just wasn't prepared to be like, oh, you're gonna be a teacher again. Oh, you're gonna do this again. Oh, you're back at the school again. Blah blah blah. You know.
Okay.
So you're back at subbing again. So.
So you drove to the airport in your black car.
Mhm.
Okay. What time did you do that?
his flight landed at 8:50 something, so I got there in time to park my car, and then I walked up to the thing, and he was coming down the escalator, and then I go over to budget, and I get the rental car. He's sitting on the little corner over here waiting on his bags. And we walk out, we get the car, we leave.
Okay. And so, where did you park your car at the airport? Do you remember?
In the short-term parking, maybe about like middle.
Okay.
It's a long, like the short-term is there. It goes from, you got the rental cars, the section here, section, so it, I wouldn't say like the farther section, and maybe like over here.
Okay. Okay. And then, but you're in your black car this morning.
Right.
Okay.
Because I had to turn the rental car back in.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So you picked your car up this morning?
No. So I took the rental car back last night because I didn't know what time situation, he's upset with me for not telling you guys first, so that, it could have been a quicker search or whatever the case may be. So I didn't know, like, I thought we were going to have to stay, like in a hotel or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I parked my car. My Harley picked me up because I was going to get a room at the hotel.
Okay.
And so I thought you guys knew that because there were sheriffs there this morning. So.
Well, people are working different pieces,
yeah.
And so I just want to make sure that while we're talking that I have all of the information, right? So if I ask you something that you feel like has already been covered before, I'm not trying to be a brat or anything like that. Yeah. I just want to make sure we have everything, we're all on the same page with everything. Right. Okay. So you drove the rental car back last night, early this morning.
No, it was last night. It wasn't that late.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then Harley picked you up, and you left your car at the airport still?
No. Okay, so I drove the rental car back, got in my car, left. Okay, so I didn't have anywhere to go because they're fussing at me, and people are not, everything's going on in the searches and things like that. So I didn't really have anywhere to go, and some of my stuff was at home, so I didn't have a card to get gas. I didn't have anything like that. So I was basically like just, like going somewhere parking, like trying to stay warm because it got a little bit cold or whatever. Sure. So finally I gave in and was like, Albert, look, and he was like, I need you to tell me the truth. And that's when I started messaging her that, hey, Wood, I'm going to come home and I'm sorry. I'll tell you exactly what happened. It's all my fault because I should have let everyone know that I gave someone the code. And I tried to replace the carpet. So at that point, I leave my car at the hotel, which was near Harley's work. Okay. And Albert was like, are you guys coming? And I said, yes. We're on our way. I leave my car at the hotel the entire night and leave Harley's car. We stay at home last night, and then I come back with Harley when she came to work this morning, and I walk over to the hotel.
Okay. So had you gone and gotten a hotel room and then changed your mind and decided to stay home, or you just parked your car there?
I parked my car because I was going to get a hotel. And my thought process was if we got in Harley's car and went home, and I didn't want people like his ex-wife is there, I didn't want people like, no the domestic type situations like going on, just me, myself against, like her family and that type of thing. So my plan was we'll just come back here and stay at the hotel if we have to. Sure. So that was the whole point of me leaving my car there.
Okay. Do you remember which hotel it was?
Yes, it's the IHG, the Holiday Inn that was right there.
Holiday Inn?
Yeah, and again, that's where the police were at all morning, where my car was at.
We were?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it could have been something separate, but I just assumed because when I got in my car to pick it up, I'm just like, hey, at the one at Center Point.
Center Point, so over by like the movie theater and stuff like that. Okay. And it was sheriff's cars or CSPD cars?
El Paso, whatever, white and maybe green, white and something.
Okay. I
just assumed they were there because you guys think my car was there, but I parked it there because we only drove one car in case we came back. We had to stay at the hotel, so. Okay. So yeah, it was parked there. Okay. And then I picked it back up this morning. So.
You picked it back up this morning?
Yeah.
And then you came here, or did you go anywhere first?
No, I was just driving around because I was on the phone trying to figure out situations for like my mom was getting, like I told you, was getting all those messages. So I wanted to like talk to them because they were freaking out and I hadn't been able to talk to them in the last 24 hours. So at that point my mom was like really worried that I hadn't told her why are these people, you know, sending her death threats, you know. And so at that point in time I had to make that decision to focus on making sure my mom knew, like, hey, listen, don't respond to, you know, anything people say, you know, and that type of thing.
So I did have one question. I know, like, and it was probably really frustrating. I know your husband was upset and stuff like that too. Like, we took a long time to get out there for, I guess we were under the impression that it was a runaway or whatever.
Right.
So it took longer.
You know, sending her death threats, you know, and so at that point in time I had to make that decision to focus on making sure my mom knew, like, hey, listen, don't respond to, you know, anything people say, you know, and that type of thing.
So I did have one question. I know, like, and it was probably really frustrating. I know your husband was upset and stuff like that too. Like, we took a long time to get out there for, I guess we were under the impression that it was a runaway or whatever.
Right.
So it took longer to get out there to you guys. But in the meantime, like, when we did get out there was like all these people out in the neighborhood and like stuff going on in Facebook and stuff like that. How did that happen? Like,
Albert had someone else start talking on Facebook. One of the kids' moms.
Okay.
So she like initiated something on Facebook, and then of course all the people comment on it.
Okay.
Because the community page is a quite active page for anything.
Okay. I didn't know if like you had posted something or if Albert.
Not originally. He had the girl Cambria.
Okay.
To post an original post initially, and then.
Okay. Is that like a friend of your guys's or?
That's one of the kids, Braden's mom.
Okay. 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 Alright. So I want to go back a little bit.
Okay.
Just to kind of.
You think I could like use the restroom really fast?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Sure.
I didn't get to eat all this. So I have to like be like, is it?
No, we're coming back. We're
okay. I was
back
gonna say, was it like a long-term process or something like that?
No, you can just leave everything wherever it is, and we don't have to like clean up anything or anything like that. And I'll just show you where the restroom is.
Okay.
Do you want to leave that here? Or?
Move what?
Your hot pocket.
Oh,
you don't want to take it to the bathroom, right?
Oh yeah, sure. I don't know. Put my social on it.
There you go. Thank you. Anything else? You need another coat?
I'm okay,
or
thank you.
Water or anything?
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. Yeah. I know. I can't go to lose his job. If he loses his job, I don't know. I don't know. I can't. It wouldn't work out that well.
I know. I'm not going to do that because Albert will lose his job. Okay. Alright, let me see. Bye. Sorry, I didn't know you were on the phone. It's okay. Sorry, need a little caffeine. Oh. Okay. So I just want to back up with you. We kind of have like a good overview of everything, but so we can start really narrowing down to try and find Gannon and everything else like that. I just want to try and get some more specific stuff on everything. Yeah. So I did write some stuff down. Okay. So, so going back to the, just a little bit to the fire part, you said that Gannon had some stuff on his arms. What part of his arms was that? Like, I don't remember, like the inner area. Just point to like wherever like it was. In this, like in the inner area like this. Okay, so like right here? Yeah, but like the burns were like not like you're thinking like round burns. It was more of like not like burns that are like this. Right here. It was more of not necessarily burns, but like a little bit of like skin, like it was like skin peeling, like in lots. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And so that was like on his left arm, his right arm. It was on both arms because remember when I came in, I took the covers and like basically like got on top of both of like on him and the fire. Oh. Like not like him pushing him on the fire, but like you know like I was just trying to get the fire out. Okay. And he was like hanging off the side of the off the side of the sofa. And he was still asleep? No, he was like saying my name, like he was alert, like what's going on because he had just like woken up. Okay. Yeah. So he was not having a full conversation with me, but as in just like calling my name, and he's like, I'm so sorry. He kept saying he was sorry. He didn't mean to do it. Daddy's been grounded me for a year. So it was him thinking, oh my gosh, shoot, like kind of like waking up being like, oh shit, I just made a mistake, like we would say in the mind of a kid. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for clarifying that for me. Okay. So the next day, you go to, like, you're trying to figure out how to get this carpet fixed. And you said that you had already, you cut the carpet? I cut the carpet. Okay. Yeah. What did you use to cut the carpet? I had Albert has, like, these tools that are, like, wood-working tools, like chisels, and I don't know the specific name of the ones, but they're, like, a little saw things. And I just, like, took the carpet and did like this. Okay. Okay. I mean, I didn't necessarily saw it, but I just kind of was like, they're very sharp tools. He has a lot of woodworking tools and stuff in the garage, so I just took one of those things. It's got like a handle and. What color? You know, like can you describe? Because I tried with the box cutter, but I couldn't. Like it wasn't like deep enough to like really pull whatever. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I tried a couple times with a box cutter. It's like it kind of like started the process, but then I had to get like a stronger object or whatever. Okay. To do it. Okay, sure. So you cut the carpet, and then you guys are gonna go try to figure out how to like get this fixed or whatever else. So you said that you went over to like where some new construction is. Do you remember? Can you tell me more about that? I'm not familiar with the area. I mean, I could if you want me to drive you there, or like or whatever. I don't know. Like they give you street names if that's what you're asking. That's fine. But can you just describe it for me a little bit better? Okay, so like the school. There's the school in the back, and so there's a bunch of new builds that are in the area right near the school. Okay, sure. Yeah. Okay. Do you remember, like, when you went to the new builds and stuff like that, was it, like, the first house in, or, like, 12 houses in, or how far in did you have to go? It was a couple, but I'd rather just go show you, because you're going to quote me on me telling you an estimate of the number, and I don't think that's fair to me. So I can give you an accurate description of which house it was. Okay. Well, for now, let's go with what you kind of remember. Like, do you remember? Did you have to drive far in there, or just a short distance? I don't know what you mean by like far in there. Like into where the new builds are. There's no. They're all like you just go around. It's just like in loops. Okay. So I don't know what you're asking. Okay. How far? Sure.
I mean, I could show you. I just don't know your terms of distance that you're asking me. Like,
Okay. Well, I guess, like, so you're saying that they're, like, in a loop or whatever?
no, the whole area is in, like, there's loops, there's streets, there's,
Okay.
you know, like, different sections of the new build.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's, like, I can show you, because you're going to quote me on me giving you hand motions and things like that, and that's not fair to me being on a conversation. That's just not fair.
Okay.
And I'm sure if I had a attorney here, he would say, we're going to go show instead of just giving you something that would be an estimate.
So you went to the new build,
Mm-hmm.
and you found this guy and asked him about...
Yeah, his name was Eduargo.
I just want to say thank you. Nothing more, no play. I appreciate